Tank, do you feel like the way that the Giants are playing right now, they can go in and play a defense like the Washington Commanders, who are allowing less than 16 points per game over their last 7 games combined? On average.
So before
I'll
we
say
get into
combined.
that, I feel like honestly, this game kind of sets up to like how Jared has been on his little heater right now. Because I think
Yeah.
back to when the Jaguars and the Giants played, and he was just trying to pick the top on the Giants, and he thought it may come against the Jags by the way that was set up, and it just didn't materialize. But he knew that it was coming somehow, some way that it was coming. And so I think like first, so for the people that are listening, the heater may not be over. So I think my dude may still be hot. Like he told you, like he's 11-1 right now. You may want to get in on this weekend because I think my boy may still be rolling them shammy. So that I'm just throwing it out there. but when we think about this Giants team, once they kind of lost that mojo, they've lost 3 of the last 4 games. Washington has won 6 of their last 7. And this seems like the perfect smash spot, honestly, when you think about it, because the Washington Commanders are really good on defense against the run. And Saquon in their 3 losses, like he's just been shut down. And on the flip side, the Commanders have been running the ball down teams' throats. And the Giants over the past 2 weeks have given up over 160 yards per game. Like that is mind
Yeah.
blowing to me. So when you look at it from that perspective, like everything is lined up for the Commanders to just go in and do what they do. And so, with that being said, I feel like the total is right around where it needs to be at 40 and a half, where it was a little bit earlier. And then with the Giants at plus 2.5, it gives me some pause because I feel like this is a game that the Washington Commanders should just go out and smash. You felt like that should have been the case with the Cowboys against the Giants, but then somehow, some way, the Giants were just kind of able to stay into it. And that's what happens when you have those divisional matchups. So I don't
Yeah.
feel comfortable about who's going to win this game, even though I feel like more than likely the Commanders will. And I feel like the total is right around where it should be. So in that standpoint, nothing entices me too much. So if I were betting this game, I wouldn't. I would just kind of sit back and see what happens. But I feel like this lines up for a smash spot for the Commanders.
Yeah, and I look at this total, Jared, and I'm kind of like, maybe the under could be a good play. It's a divisional game where points are hard to come by. Both defenses in the top half of the NFL, and also total has gone the total has gone under 4 out of the last 6 Washington road games that they've had. Also 4-2 in New York's last 6 home games. Do you feel like this could maybe be a good spot where the Commanders defense keep doing what the Commanders defense is doing over the last 7 weeks and kind of shutting down the Giants and with the lack of O-line that Daniel Jones has, he hasn't really had much time to make plays, or he hasn't had anyone to throw to as well, with the wide receiver room decimated like they are.
Yeah, for sure. And both of these teams have definitely struggled in a lot of those key offensive line metrics this year. So this game, I think the spread's right here. I think 21-20 is kind of where my numbers have this, Washington by a point. And I think the total is maybe a hair high. Maybe you want to get it into the high 30s. So if the spread's right, and if the total is maybe a little higher than what we expected, and this game has a number I think that is perfect to tease, I think this is the most teasable game of the week to get the Giants through 3-7. And I think this will be this game feels like a close game. It feels like a last second field goal, one team driving late. Who's going to make the big mistake? Is Heineke made some throw. Heineke is like I don't know what's going on. He makes some throws that I'm like, wow, this guy's going to be a starter in this league for a long time. And then he makes some throws like he did. Like if you go watch the end of the first half of that game last week against Atlanta, 4th and 1 in their own territory with 30 seconds left, they get stuffed. So Washington in a tie game takes over with 34 seconds left. I think they had all 3 timeouts at like the 45-yard line in plus territory. And Heineke, no pressure, cover 2, soft coverage because they're trying to prevent the big play. And he just like throws a ball like, I don't even know where it ended up. I don't even know who he was intended for. Interception, boom, half ends it tied. A lot of my friends had the Washington minus 2.5 in the first half, and they're just like watching that sequence like, what are you doing, Taylor? So like, and Daniel Jones has those types of moments too. So that's why this game, I mean, it could be volatile. We could see a blowout in one direction, but which quarterback is going to make that like brain fart mistake that's going to cost their team the game? Both guys have done it multiple times this year, and it's hard for me to predict which quarterback's going to do it in this game. But if you're telling me that I can get a home divisional underdog through both key numbers in a low total game, I feel pretty good that it's a pretty decent teaser spot for the Giants here.